Hey guys, what's up? My name is Anthony, and welcome to another edition of Being a Sports Talk. A couple days ago, I made a video or a podcast. One of my segments, my storylines was, watch to see Tom Brady this week. Is he having fun? And I mentioned this because, you know, he's rumored to want to get out of New England. I mean, there's a bunch of rumors going around like a couple years ago with Jimmy G. And the only difference is they don't have their Jimmy G right now, unless you want to say Jarrett Stidham. And the one game he did play, he threw a pick six against the Jets. So, yeah, there's that. I mentioned in that video a couple other things, like who's going to be the next quarterback of the Patriots, who can the Patriots bring in, and I mentioned briefly about where Tom Brady can land. So in this video, I'm going to talk about where Tom Brady can land, what are some signs that he's going to retire, whether I think he's going to retire or not, in some scenarios, and let's just talk it out. So what I've noticed is that this year especially, he's doing more Instagram, he just joined Twitter. Now, Twitter wasn't invented this year. It was invented 10, 12 years ago, and now he's just on Twitter. And it kind of shows his football mortality, I think, a little bit, because he knows he's going to have to extend his brand, his TB12 brand. I don't even know what they do. I think it's like a bunch of health stuff. He wants to expand his business, and you've seen videos with him and his kids after they win, like, let's go, we're winning, and stuff like that. And he wants to enjoy. It seems like this is his last ride. You think he wants to play in Kansas City in 30-degree cold anymore? You think he wants to live in New England anymore? No, he wants to move it to warm weather. And especially when you're losing, winning cures all. When you're winning, it's great. And, you know, they're 10-1, they're on top of the world, and all of a sudden they lost 2 straight. Winning cures all. Just win, and you feel way better about yourself. Now it doesn't seem like he's having that much fun anymore. Last year in an interview, he said, you know, as long as I'm having fun, I'm going to keep on playing. He really wants to play until he's 45. But, you know, one day you wake up and it's just like you don't enjoy it anymore. You don't enjoy the process anymore. Tom Brady has loved the process because it's come along with winning. He's won, and now he's not going to want to play in 30-degree cold anymore in Kansas City. He doesn't. What does Tom Brady have to fight for anymore? The only thing I could see is winning a Super Bowl without Bill Belichick, but he has the most wins all time. He has the most passing touchdowns of all time, I believe now. He's beaten, Peyton Manning, Brett Favre. The only real record he doesn't have is passing yards. And Drew Brees was throwing 5,000 yards for years and years. He's way behind Drew Brees. And Drew Brees looks like he's still going to play for a couple years. So Tom Brady really has nothing to play for. And he's played in the playoffs for, pretty much 2 to 3 extra seasons. So this really is 23rd year. Eventually, that's a little bit draining. It's kind of like with LeBron James, year in and year out, playoffs. Every year you're playing in important games. Is he going to have one, off season where it's just like, we didn't make the playoffs. I can kind of check out in December and I can fight again. He hasn't really had that season since I was born. I was born in 1999, pretty much. Well, pretty much. I was born in 1999. So since 2001, every single year, imagine all this mental stuff, playoffs. It's draining. And in the playoffs, he wants to get that first round bye. He doesn't want to play 4 games in the playoffs. In order to just make the Super Bowl, you have to win 3 games. He wants to have that first round bye. Now that's in jeopardy. You have the Ravens, you have the Chiefs now who have the tiebreaker, and the Houston Texans have the tiebreaker as well. Now there's obviously a lot more games to be played. They play the Bengals, Bills, and who else do they play? I think Miami. So they have a clear path to the number 2 seed. And he's just wants to play out this year, and I think he wanted to cruise through the year, and I realize he can't. Now he sees some flaws in the team. He doesn't look like he's having fun. Now, previous years he'd be yelling at guys and let's get better, but he knew in the back of his mind, they're going to button up by December. But now it's December and they're not playing well. So he's definitely not enjoying it. There's this animosity now with Bill Belichick and Kraft. And you can tell in press conferences it doesn't look like he's having fun. He looks miserable. He looks like, he's not enjoying the process anymore because he realizes he doesn't have a lot to deal with. Obviously he still has the talent to win a Super Bowl because we've seen it before, but they don't have a tight end. I said in the beginning of the year, I literally broke down all their tight ends, every single one. Matt Lacoste, Austin Seferian-Jenkins, Ryan Izzo. I know all of them. And I said, I wouldn't try to make these guys a number 1 wide receiver. I'd try to change the offense a little bit, but I didn't expect him to get nobody. The Tom Brady's been let down. So let's start talking about where he can possibly go, because I have a couple teams. A couple months ago, I made a video about it, but I barely brushed the surface. So let's get a little more in depth. So the Los Angeles Chargers are in Los Angeles, obviously. And they have Phillip Rivers, who is going to be a free agent after this year. And you think they're going to want to bring him into like a new stadium? I don't think that's going to be ideal. Tom Brady wants to get paid a lot of money. He's like, I'm not dealing with this bullshit anymore. He's like, I want to get paid the most money. I deserve it. And now he's at the deserving phase. Now all you need is a desperate team. I said Los Angeles Chargers should blow it up this year. I did, because I'm like, let's just start over with a rookie quarterback. You have a bunch of assets, sell all of them, and just rebuild new city, hope, that sort of thing. So, I mean, if Los Angeles rattles off some wins and they go 8-8, then it's a different narrative. But realistically, they're going to lose against the Vikings. They're going to lose. I think they play the Chiefs one more time. No, do they play? I don't know. But they're going to end up 6-10 or 7-9. So they're going to really not have a bright future. Tom Brady's going to want to. I could see two scenarios. He's either going to play in a city like Denver for 1 year, or he's going to want to move to a city like Los Angeles where he wants to set up home shop. He's going to move down to a warm place. But the thing is about the NFC West, you look at the teams. San Francisco 49ers, they have a quarterback. Rams, quarterback that they just signed to a big deal. Russell Wilson, quarterback. Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals. Then you go with the Broncos. Maybe the Raiders, that's one of the other options I have. The only problem is I think that him and Gruden would clash a little bit. Gruden's like a player's guy. Tom Brady, they may not work well together. They may clash personality-wise. So that's going to be a big thing. But they do work in the trenches now. You have an offensive line. You have decent amount of weapons. Hunter Renfrow, a couple other young wide receivers, Tyrell Williams, that are growing up, and Josh Jacobs' run game. So that would be a pretty good landing spot. I can see Tom Brady in the black and gray. I can see it. Las Vegas, I definitely can see it. But the thing is, they have Derek Carr for the next 2 years under contract. Are you going to trade him, cut him? Is anybody really going to accept him? I don't know. But John Gruden has done crazier things, so I wouldn't rule this out. You just need to get him a better defense, and now you have 2 first-round picks this year, so you can you can get a great great mid-round defensive picks. Going back to the Chargers, they haven't really been hefty with spending. So have the Raiders, I guess, but if you're bringing in Tom Brady, come on. The LA Chargers haven't really spent a lot. They're only paying Anthony Lynn like $4 million, the least amount of any coach in the NFL. They're kind of cheap with that sort of stuff. And plus, you're going to have to start paying your star defensive ends, your star safety, Derwin James. So you're going to have to start thinking about those contracts. I think you have to get rid of one of them. I think get rid of one of your defensive backs, and you get like 2 first-round picks. Because I think a team like the Cowboys would be willing to give that up. We saw what they were almost willing to give up for Jamal Adams. But anyway, so let's move on to another team. I was thinking about the Colts. Then I remember the whole Deflategate thing. I think Tom Brady would work well with the Colts. They have enough speed on the side. They've just been battered with injuries this year. T.Y. Hilton, Paris Campbell, they're fast. You'll have them on the edge. You have a great offensive line. Tom Brady would fit in Indianapolis, but he's not going to want to play there. I've heard some rumors about Denver, but it looks like Drew Lock is now their guy. You think they're just going to give up on Drew Lock? Maybe. But he's looking good. And if you're telling me he's like 4-1 at the end of the season in his 5 games, that they're going to just get Tom Brady, I don't think so. Vic Fangio, that's his guy. They have a pretty good defense. Then they've done it all without Bradley Chubb this year. He wasn't even playing good before they got injured. So I definitely can't see Denver. There's another team, the Tennessee Titans. Now all of a sudden Ryan Tannehill looks like the guy. As far as any team in Florida, Bruce Arians, I think, would give up Jameis Winston in a heartbeat. But I really do think they're going to franchise tag Jameis Winston. At least that's what it seems like now. And the Tampa Bay doesn't have the best offensive line. He doesn't have the best defense, so that's not really going to be a good fit. And the Jaguars, they already have Nick Foles, and they already have Gardner Minshew. So those are their 2 guys. I said, trade Gardner Minshew to the Chargers, but they're mostly going to see who's a better quarterback out of them 2, and whoever's not, try to trade him or, cut him or whatever it is. And then finally, Miami, they're going to go after a quarterback in the draft. And they already have their growing project in Josh Rosen and Ryan Fitzpatrick. But the thing is, Brian Flores was the ex-defensive coordinator for the Patriots. So it was only for 1 year. But Tom Brady may look at it and be like, oh, that's a good landing spot for me. You never know about that. So those are the teams I could see him going to. And the main reason why I mentioned all these teams and, he's probably not going to go here. is because he doesn't really have a lot of landing spots. He doesn't really have a lot of ideal landing spots. So I can definitely see him going to a one-year place where it's not the ideal location, but he's gonna be like, listen, Giselle, I'm gonna stay in this one city 1 year. Screw the kids. I'm just gonna try to get the one championship without Bill Belichick, and I'm gonna succeed. And then we're gonna move to Los Angeles. It's gonna be beautiful. We're gonna have kids. I want to go out with one more Super Bowl. And if I'm not successful, I tried and that's it. I'm gonna sign a 1-year deal. That's what I can see. I can see him taking a 1-year deal, but it has to be an ideal scenario with a rookie, kind of like a rookie quarterback who's still learning. He can learn under Tom Brady, and then the next year they would take over. And that's a very specific scenario. Teams are not looking for a 1-year, deal. Teams that are good right now. The Minnesota Vikings, they have their guy in Kirk Cousins, he has 1 more year left on his deal, so that's a possible landing spot, I guess. But Dallas, could they bring in Tom Brady? It seems like they already have their guy in Dak Prescott. It wouldn't seem like. Imagine Tom Brady in a Cowboys uniform. Imagine Tom Brady in a Bengals. I can't see it. And another team is potentially the Carolina Panthers, but you're telling me with their new owner, he's all analytics and stuff like that, he's going to want to pay a 43-year-old quarterback $30-something million a year. I don't see it. The most ideal location would be the 49ers, I guess. But again, they have Jimmy G, who just put up almost 400 yards, 4 touchdowns against one of the best defenses in the league. So they're not going to get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo. So, yeah, it's very, very limited right now. Let me know what you guys think. Where can Tom Brady land? My 3 rankings that you can see on the screen, they've probably been on there for a while. Probably number 1 is the Chargers. Number 2 is the Raiders. And number 3 would probably be Miami. And anyway, hope you guys did enjoy this video. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.